Hi, my name is Daniel Teer. I wanted to show you how I learned how to make a tree pretty quickly and how I'm able to start reducing the faces for our poly count. I started out with a 16-sided cylinder. It just kind of shrunk it down, gave it an additional edge loop down here at the bottom. If you grab 4 faces on it and hit circularize, sorry, this is all done in Maya, and hit circularize, you can come over here and make a little circle face on there, but it will just start distorting our top faces. But if you make a little edge loop here at the top and bottom or extrusions, you can get rid of that effect. And to start making like a tree branch or anything like that pretty quickly, if we just select go into object mode, select our um, tree trunk, I guess you can call it, and then come into faces, just grab 4 faces that we want to extrude into the new branch. Grab our little EP, CP curve, whatever branch you want to go for, hit extrude, and give it some divisions. It'll be able to follow our branch however we make our curves. And if you come in there and you want to mess with your curve later on, we can come into, I think this is the curve. Yeah, this is the curve. And you can come in and start messing out with the curve itself and give it some different effects. And then when we come into the channel box, you can come into where it was extruding as the object. Sorry. And you can come into taper and actually give it a little bit of a branch effect. And that's how I was able to make my roots. I just wanted to show you the little setups that I was making. You can come in and start grabbing as many faces as you want. As long as your object that you're grabbing is circle, it'll start making circle branches. You can come at the very end. It'll start giving these jagged kind of looks. All I did on this one is I came up into surfaces or mesh display and hit soften edges. It'll kind of take away a lot of the jagged surface. For the leaves, all I did is kind of tacoed a little plane. If you go into your verts, you can grab them, turn on symmetry, Object X, grab a couple verts, turn on soft selection right here, or hit B. And when you curve this, it'll, whoa, maybe if you increase the size of your little grabber thing and the little gizmo, when we curve it, it'll give it like a natural little taco curve, and then you can just move them up. And that's how I was able to just make these little shapes over here. Make it a little extrusion, kind of make the face a little circle here. And then on this one, all I did is extrude out the branch, but I was able to lower the face count from 184 to 136, even with these extra little faces right here. Coming into mesh and hitting reduce, it'll lower the face count by a certain percentage, however much you want. I'll give you an example here. Hit reduce, go into object, and then hit reduce. And you can lower it by as much of the percentage as you want if you wanted to keep it as much as close to normal or just reduce it to nothing. Then it's still it's 136. It's still a lot of faces to try to use for leaves, so I'm still gonna have to try to rework that, but that is a way to reduce faces. And then further way to reduce faces, here I made a 20 by 20 plane and hit smooth on it a couple times, and it'll add a bunch of faces. So we got, what do we, 51,200. You can come into Maya, and Maya actually has sculpting tools here. And you can go into sculpting, grab our little sculpt tool, and you want to mess with the settings. We can come into the tool settings, and you can mess with the strength. and you can hit just click and drag and it'll bring it up. If you hit control and drag, it'll take it down. If you hit shift and click and hold all that, and it'll start smoothing everything out. You can start messing with the strengths and stuff to make that increase as well. If you hit B, if you hold B and hold the left click, you can lower the size of it as well, and you can make some pretty cool shapes. But this is the second time I made the video, so it already kind of showed it. But it was the same shape as this. So from originally, we have 5,120 faces. And I got it down to 720 faces with still being able to keep a lot of the same shape that it was at 5,200. And that was just by doing reducing, like I was showing you on the leaf. But if you want to get it even further, we can get here. Same shape, same thing, 5,100 or 51,200 polys, right? I wanted to try to give it some more character, try to make a face. I'm not the best Z artist, but it gives us something to work with. Um, so if we just went into reduce, I can get it down to 9,000, almost 10,000 polys with keeping the same shape. But as you can see, it is still a little jagged. Maybe if we went up into mesh display and hit soften, it can give it a little bit better shape. But you can still see it's real pixelated even though there's no pixels, right? Another way that I've learned, it takes a little longer. Remesh is maybe a quick way to give a reduce is like a quick way to lower the poly count. It takes a little longer and your computer might sound like it's going to blow up, but if you hit remesh, it'll triangulate all these faces. So 51,200 turn into like 5 million. And then once remesh is done, you hit retopologize. If you just hit retopologize, it doesn't give it as good of a final product. So definitely hit remesh first and then retopologize. So then you hit retopologize and you can get it down from this shape from 51,200 to 8,766. And uh, it's just a better way. I feel like it's cleaner. It doesn't give as much of the polygons and hard surface or hard edge effects. There is still a little bit. You can probably come into there and hit soften edges, see if that does something. Yeah, not a whole lot. But I feel like there's more detail in the hitting remesh and retopologize than just hitting reduce.